Imagine opening your portfolio during yet another market crash. Minus 20%, minus 30%, sometimes even more. The news is screaming about a crisis, analysts are arguing, Twitter is boiling. And at that moment, almost everyone thinks the same thing. I'm losing money because of the market. But the truth is much more uncomfortable. You're not losing money because of the market. You're losing it because of the decisions you make in that exact moment. There's one mistake that repeats itself during almost every crash. It doesn't look like something catastrophic. It's not one big failure, it's a series of small, almost invisible decisions. And those are exactly what can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Sometimes over 100,000. The worst part is that most people don't even realize they made this mistake. The first micro decision is stopping DCA. Dollar cost averaging sounds boring. It's just regular investing regardless of market conditions. But during a downturn, it becomes the most valuable strategy. And what do people do? They stop. Now is not the time. The market is falling. I'll wait for stability. And it sounds logical. Why buy when everything is going down? But the problem is, you're not just stopping investing. You're stopping buying assets at discounted prices. Imagine the market drops 30% and then recovers a year later. The person who kept doing DCA was buying assets cheaply. The person who paused for 3 months missed the most profitable period. And the difference between them after a few years might not be 5% or 10%. It could be tens of thousands of dollars. And here's the tricky part. You don't see this loss. It doesn't show up as a negative in your portfolio. These are invisible gains you simply never earned. The second micro decision is moving to cash too late. People rarely exit at the peak. Usually they hold on until the very end. It'll recover a bit more. This is temporary. And only when the pain becomes too strong, they sell. Exactly when the market has already dropped 20 to 30%. This is a classic scenario. First comes denial, then hope, then panic. And in that state of panic, a person hits sell. They move to cash, feel relief, but only for a short time. Because what happens next? The market starts to recover. Not immediately. Sometimes it looks like a false start, but it grows. And the person who exited starts waiting for a better entry point. And that moment never feels safe enough. As a result, they miss the first 10%, then another 10%, and re-enter at much higher levels. And this is where another invisible loss forms. You sold low and bought high. And again, it doesn't feel like a mistake in the moment. It feels like being cautious. And this is where things get even more interesting. Most people think the main danger during a crash is making the wrong prediction, that you need to catch the bottom, exit on time, enter perfectly. But if you look at the data from real investors, the problem is almost never in predictions. It's in behavior. And the most dangerous part is that behavior disguises itself as rational thinking. For example, someone says, "I'll just wait it out." That sounds reasonable. But if you break it down into actions, Gamlet means, I'm not buying assets when they're cheaper. I'm delaying decisions until it feels psychologically comfortable. And comfort in the market almost always means prices have already gone up. Another version, I'll reduce my position a bit to lower risk. Again, it sounds logical, but what does it actually mean? You're locking in part of your losses and reducing your recovery potential. And if the market turns faster than you expect, you'll be left behind. And here's the key point. The market doesn't warn you when recovery begins. There's no signal. No news saying, okay, now you can enter. On the contrary, when the market starts rising, the news often remains negative for a long time. And that creates a trap. People wait for confirmation. But confirmation comes only after the main move has already happened. Another micro mistake that's rarely talked about is changing your time horizon. Before the crash, you invest for the long term. 5 years, 10 years. But as soon as the market drops, your horizon shrinks to days or weeks. You start checking your portfolio daily. Every fluctuation feels significant, and that changes your decisions. What you would ignore in a stable period becomes a trigger for action. And this is exactly where the strategy breaks, because any strategy only works if you stick to it. Not when it's convenient, but when it's difficult. And here's another layer that makes this mistake even more expensive. Every wrong decision doesn't just reduce your results now, it affects compounding in the future. If you lose 10% of potential growth today, it's not just 10%. It's all the future returns that could have been earned on that money. That's why these small decisions can cost $100,000 or more. Not immediately, but over years. Imagine missing the best 10 days of market growth in a year. That alone can drastically reduce your returns. Now imagine missing them every cycle because you panic sell and re-enter too late. That's the real cost of behavior. And there's another nuance almost no one considers: emotional memory. If you got burned once during a crash, next time you'll react faster and more aggressively. So the mistake doesn't just repeat, it amplifies. And with each cycle, a person becomes more cautious, but less effective. They may not even notice it, because on the surface, everything looks right. Less risk, more control, more analysis. But the results get worse. And here's another trap: overconfidence after recovery. When the market bounces back and starts rising, people forget their mistakes. They see gains in their portfolio and think, I did well. But if you look deeper, they could have earned much more if they hadn't interfered. And that's the most dangerous part: when a mistake isn't punished immediately, because then it gets reinforced as correct behavior, and the cycle repeats again. Now let's be even more honest. Why do people behave this way? Not because of a lack of knowledge, not because of a lack of strategies, but because of basic psychological mechanisms. The fear of loss is stronger than the joy of gain. That means declines feel more painful than growth feels pleasant. And the brain tries to avoid that pain. BI means, even if it harms you in the long run. The second reason is the need for control. When the market falls, it feels like you have no control. And any action, even the wrong one, creates an illusion of control. Sell, stop, wait. It's not always logical, but it feels like you're doing something. And the third reason is social pressure. When everyone around you is panicking, it's very hard to stay calm. When everyone is moving to cash, it's difficult to keep buying. You start to doubt yourself. What if they're right? And this is where another mistake is born: comparing yourself to others in the short term. Because in the short term, panic decisions sometimes look correct. Someone sold, and the market dropped further. And they think, I was right. But they don't see what comes next. And here's the main point: the right decisions in the market often look wrong in the moment. Continuing to buy while everything is falling looks irrational. Not selling when everyone else is selling looks risky. Ignoring the news looks irresponsible. But these are exactly the actions that create long-term results. That's why a real strategy is not just a set of rules, it's a system that accounts for your psychology. For example, automating DCA so you don't make decisions manually. Clear exit rules so you don't act on emotions. Limiting how often you check your portfolio so you don't get trapped in a stress loop. Because if you rely only on willpower, sooner or later, it will fail you. And here's another idea that can change everything: the market doesn't need your actions as often as you think. Most of the time, the best decision is to do nothing. But doing nothing is the hardest thing, because it means trusting the process, trusting the strategy, and most importantly, not interfering when you really want to. And if you put it all together, it becomes clear: the biggest mistake is not a single action, it's a pattern. Stopped DCA, exited late, re-entered late, reacted to news, changed the time horizon, gave in to emotions. Each step on its own seems insignificant, but together they create the difference between an average result and an exceptional one. And next time you see another market crash, try not to look for answers in the news or forecasts. Instead, ask yourself simple questions. Am I changing my strategy right now? Am I reacting to fear instead of following a plan? Am I doing what feels comfortable or what actually works? Because the truth doesn't change. You don't lose money during crashes. You lose it in the decisions you make during them. And if you can control those decisions, you can control the outcome. Even when the market looks chaotic, even when everyone around you is panicking, even when it feels like the best thing to do is nothing, or neo barot to act immediately. These are the moments that shape your financial results for years ahead. And these are the moments when most people make their most expensive mistake. And when the next crash begins, and it will, it's only a matter of time, most people will make the same mistakes again. They will stop investing. They will sell too late. They will wait for a better moment. And once again, they won't even notice how they lost tens of thousands. But now you have an advantage. Not because you know where the market is going, but because you know how you will behave. And in the end, that's the only thing that matters. Because the market will always be chaotic, but your decisions don't have to be. And perhaps the most important thing to remember, big money isn't lost in a single day. It disappears quietly, through small decisions that feel right in the moment. So the next time you feel the urge to do something urgently, pause and ask yourself, is this strategy or is this fear? Because the answer to that question could cost you $100,000. I'd really appreciate it if you shared your thoughts in the comments. I read the comments and will do my best to respond. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the Wolf Accumulate channel. Thank you for watching, have a great evening, and take care.